At one point in my life, I was in this apartment that did not get a lot of sun. And when I think back on those memories, there's a claustrophobic feeling that almost comes from it. That could not have helped those conflicts, because I'm going to respond to it like this is a horrible situation versus this is a situation where there's sun and light and maybe even like escape routes or something soft to touch to comfort myself.
I attach memories of that conflict to whatever the space in my home that I was working in, which is something I want to think about the next time that a conflict arises. What are some of the other elements that I can think about? Even the type of room, or does the room have sun, or is it like closed? Do those things affect me when I'm addressing a conflict? Like, will they help me or will they hinder me?
I feel like in like the transformative justice framework, conflicts fully related to power dynamics and how they repeat patterns of violence and who is marginalized in it. There's the possibility of ignoring the nuances of what people are going through. Like, there's a conflict happening, but there's also like been hard to access food to that point. Access to food is such a political thing, and during the pandemic, it was so exacerbated.
We were really thinking about how people think about conflict and how sometimes the ways that we frame it often are what keeps us from resolving conflict or coming at it in a healthy way. It keeps us defensive, or we return to these past versions of ourselves. And if you're not aware of that, afterwards you're, why did I say that?
You're trying to be present in the moment, trying to prevent probably historical trauma and triggers. It's a lot of work.
It's like a three-dimensional landscape in a way. There is this connection that's sort of going on this x-axis sort of plane, but then power adds that y-axis in, right? Now we have hills and valleys where we might be standing next to each other, but we're not necessarily on the same level.
It's not so much about blazing a path for people to follow. It's really mainly about trying to listen and support things going in an interesting but sustainable direction.
How do we reduce the harm at the moment of what's happening in a way that's thoughtful and also aware of like what's going on in a bigger picture?
Nature often has the answers. Plants like burdock, purslane, and chickweed, they actually can cleanse the soil and get rid of the toxins and actually help it heal and turn healthy again. Nothing is ever too far gone. There is a way to reach a state of growth and healthiness.
Our most rational thoughts are the ones that elicit the strongest emotions. That's a stumbling block when we're trying to detach our emotions from the conflict. It's much easier to make those connections when you aren't bringing the emotions and bringing those experiences and that mindset with you.
I like the human connection element.
The abundance in the moment, because to navigate and know conflict too, and then like also feel the way that you want to sustain like well-being and community and how that informs how we come together and make sure that it doesn't go ignored either.
I think it's taught me a lot about where to leave space and where to hold the possibilities of multiple truths.
It's turning the focus back to people, because when you do that and you unhook from things that are ethically suspect, then you actively save lives and reach out to the people